do we have something exciting to share with you?
We have our brand new, we're so excited. We are so excited.
We are, and we've been asked to do this for so long. It's a subject that is especially close to my heart.
You couldn't wait, could
No.
you? You were so excited. You've always loved felines. You've always loved working with cats in the vet practice. You've always had a passion for it. You do a lot of cat behaviour consults. I work with cats here on site, and you know what? We just couldn't resist. We couldn't resist.
And that is Absolute Cats. What we're going to be doing is, you've met Absolute Dogs, you know, you've experienced the lives, the video teaching, the resources, and now we're excited because today is the day that we unleash.
We released the brand new
Absolute Cats. Okay, so to kick off Absolute Cats, we thought we would start by sharing with you actually tips for dogs and cats cohabiting, living in the same space.
Let's be honest, Tom, you've always had a passion for cats. You've always enjoyed working with cats. Feline sort of veterinary care.
It's weird that I ended up in dogs.
Well, feline veterinary care is your favourite area to work in. You absolutely love handling the cats. And you know about how many harmonious households you work with. So living harmoniously in a house together.
Yeah, top tips. First would be, just as we would talk about with a multi-dog household, even, you know, the best dog-cat relationships can become stretched when maybe they spend so much time together. So actually a gated community where they have opportunity to leave each other, and I would actually say at times I would purposefully separate them so that they've got chance to kind of empty their buckets. And the thing about cats, and you know, it's one of the reasons why we love them so much, is they have buckets just like dogs.
And I think one of the other reasons we love them so much is because they love to spend time on our counters. They love to separate themselves almost. So actually they give themselves their own separated places, like tops of sofas, counters, tops of beds,
and
like
that leads,
wardrobes. Cats naturally separate themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, and that means that, you know, with cats you actually have an extra layer of fun when it comes to gated communities, and that is that we're not just thinking about gates between spaces, but cats can actually have vertical spacing. So they can jump up onto counters, they can get up onto wardrobes or wherever it might be. And so actually giving them the opportunity to get away is key.
And they love those spaces, don't they, cats? They just love those spaces.
Yeah. Now, next tip that we've got for you is actually let's pick our battles. So, you know, cat food, very high in protein. Dogs absolutely love it.
Smells
Equally,
great.
Cats tend to be grazers, so they often have their food down all the time. More on that in another episode. But the key is that actually, do we need to pick the battle of having the cat food, you know, bowl overflowing with food and expecting our dogs to ignore it, or instead could we use the vertical space? Could we maybe have it on a counter?
I remember filming this ready for you guys with Absolute Cats. I remember filming this with your mum, and we were talking about just this very struggle where your mum's dog Luca and the cat food could easily become an issue. You're going to see this when we dive in.
Yeah, it's going to be some of the live teaching that we're going to be doing. Now, the second area that can be a little bit of a challenge is the litter tray, because there are some tasty morsels in there as well. And so, you know, if your cat is a cat that goes outside, then I would absolutely train them to go outside, and preferably not in your garden. No, you shouldn't do that.
And encourage that. We'll talk more about that in the series. So you're going to get lots of this. We're going to dive in deep on
We've got
cats
an
and how they
episode
work.
called the cat toilet that it's
All
a
about
game
cat
changer.
poo.
And but the other thing is just being guarded about maybe the litter tray is behind a baby gate where your dog can't get through, but the cat can get through or jump over.
Or in a room that maybe the dog doesn't go in or doesn't have access to. So actually you're not giving your dog free access to those very tasty morsels.
Yeah. Now, next tip that we've got for you on this one, who knew that there was so much to talk about with cats and dogs, is actually that just as we talk about with dogs, and we talk about it in the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast, Sexier Than the Mouse on the way, is that actually high arousal relationships, whether between two dogs or between a dog and a cat, they're not long-lived. If that is a relationship of excitement and you wanting to get them to play and you're encouraging that, it tends to be that's when we might get fights happening. That's when maybe the cat all of a sudden decides that they don't like the dog jumping on them and barking at them. And so inspire calmness first. That's both from your feline friend and your canine friend.
But just like Tom said and has alluded to, Sexier Than a Mouse is going to cover so much of this. So we're going to dive in deep, and you're going to have an amazing podcast on this each and every week for your feline friend.
Yeah. So next tip that we have for you is actually, just as we boundary train dogs, you can boundary train cats. And the key is that what is a dog boundary, the cat doesn't necessarily join the dog on the boundary. What is a cat boundary? The dog leaves the cat alone so that they can manage themselves in space. Now, the way that you can do that is you can keep some of your dog's daily food allowance to one side and just reward them for maybe lying on a bed or
Making
a mat or a towel,
choice, effectively.
whatever
living
it might
in
be.
calmness, living the life that you always dreamed of with them, and making a brilliant decision.
Yeah. And you can do exactly the same with your cat. So if, for example, the cat gets to occupy the arm of the sofa, well, I would be delivering, and we've got a video to show you on this one.
It's going to support so much of this. You're going to love it. It's literally sofa feeding.
You're going to be feeding them for being on the arm of the sofa. So, you know, we've covered a lot. These households, they can really work. In fact, we absolutely love them, and in fact, you know, it's increasingly becoming apparent that we're going to be training cats in the future.
It's such a passion of ours.
Yeah.
It's such an area of we've been excited about it for a long time. You particularly, because I know every time one walks into the vet room, you kind of just go, oh, I want to squish him.
I really do, and you know, the prospect of sports cats.
Can you imagine, like ninja?
Excites us.
Ninja
so
sports.
You're going to be seeing all of this unfold in the Absolute Cats episodes. You're going to be hearing all about it in Sexier Than a Mouse podcast. And guys, this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. We're excited to share. That was our tips on multi-dog, multi-cat, multi-species households. And we will see you in the next episode of Absolute Cats. Okay, so before we go, we could not share with you one of our favourite Absolute Cats games. It's, you know, an intro to what we're going to be doing over the coming weeks that we share more and more with you, and that is the mouse game. Now, the mouse game, the way that it works is you need some of your cat's daily food allowance. You're going to pop it down, you're going to show your little kitty the daily food allowance, and if they go to get it, we're just going to cover it. And what this game teaches is self-control. So what they learn is when they back off, we deliver the piece of food. So I'll just reload a little bit. Little kitty here is ready to go. Lovely. Nice, very nice. And what you see here is that our demo cat is actually backing away from the food and learning self-control. So if you're experiencing struggles with your cat of maybe counter surfing, maybe, you know, sitting on the counter where we really don't want them to sit, maybe stealing from the dinner plate, actually this game teaches them a level of, lovely, that's very nice disengagement, a level of self-control, and it's all taught through games. And so, you know, we've only been working with this little cat that we've been working with at the centre here for what was that, literally 30 seconds, and already we can see that she's disengaging from this delicious food. And when we get some lovely, nice disengagement, we're just going to bring the food to her. Remember, game changers, whatever the dog owning struggle, there's a game for that.
If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to our channel.
And check out our new 25-day online dog training challenge. Watch the videos, play the games, transform your dog owning struggles.
As a loyal YouTube subscriber, you can get a 70% discount through the link in the description below.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to the #1 most transformational dog training podcast on iTunes and Spotify, the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast.
And remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more live teaching, video content and free training using the links in the description.